Dricus Du Plessis versus Kamaru Usman. Who wins the fight? Welcome to Morning Coffee MMA, and we're going to be going over that right now today. All right, guys. So when it comes to DDP and Dricus Du Plessis, there's not too many differences when it comes to arm length and size, height, weight, nothing like that. But there are some key differences in the way they fight. Okay. We're going to go over the pros for DDP. All right. Some of the pros are he has a wide variety of kicks. A lot of them can be chambered. A lot of low kicks, body, head kicks. He throws a high output of them. I think that might be a problem for Kamaru Usman going into the fight. Another positive for him, he can fight orthodox and switch stance. He's very good at fighting both. He switches very often depending on how he lands. He has a lot of output with the feet. Again, he throws a lot of leg kicks and he likes to follow them up with a lot of head kicks. He's very relentless with the kicks. And when he closes the distance, he almost has a point style blitzing style. The way he comes in, he throws, the jab and the looping hook. He throws it in like kind of like it reminds me of Georges St. Pierre, just not as clean, but is very much so a point style on how he closes the distance. And I think some of his notable performances are obviously Adesanya. He dominated him in that fight on the feet. And he actually showed some of his ground game where he can get a finish with a rear naked choke. But Adesanya is known to get, rear naked choked all the time. I don't know why he gives up his back so much, but that's like his thing, right? Obviously, he's beaten Sean Strickland 2 times in a unanimous decision and a split decision. And I think the one fight that's very good to watch for film is the Robert Whitaker fight. Stylistically, that's what this fight might look like. Even though Robert Whitaker isn't as good of a wrestler as Kamaru Usman, I think stylistically, like I said, that's a fight that will kind of show how this fight might go a little bit. Robert Whitaker was able to take him down, but DDP was able to stand up. That's the biggest question. Will he be able to stand up? Kamaru Usman, when he takes people down, he almost has that Khabib style where he ties your legs up and holds you there and beats you up for 5 rounds. We'll see if that will be a factor in this fight at all. Also, DDP's cardio is elite for the pace that he fights at. He throws a lot of punches, guys, like a lot. Also, another thing that a lot of people might not think of, but I kind of count it. He's 32, coming into his prime. I think this guy is primed and ready to get the belt back away from Sean Strickland again. But we'll see. We'll see. But some of the cons he has, he's able to be taken down, and he's shown he's been able to be held down. Only by one man, though. Only one man, Khamzat Chimaev. But still, he's shown that he's been able to be taken down by several others. He just always gets up. I don't know if he can get up versus Kamaru Usman, but I think there's something in my head that tells me he's going to be able to get up most likely, guys. I know we look at this and we're like, oh man, like look at what Chimaev did to him. Yeah, that's Chimaev though. One of the best. Well, we can say he's the best wrestler in the MMA. I don't think that's a question. Maybe you can put Merab up there, maybe you can put Arman Sarukian, but I think Chimaev is the best wrestler in the MMA. And when you go against the best guy like that, when you start to face these other guys that are really good, like the Kamaru Usmans, like the Merabs, right? Once you face the best, you don't really get much more experience than that. So he has experience with elite wrestlers. Another con, in my opinion, is he creates chaos, which can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. In my opinion, like depending on the kind of chaos he creates, it can work against him sometimes, maybe leaving him open for some takedowns. When he comes in, sometimes he leaves his hands dropped. That could leave him open for a nice right hand from Kamaru Usman, kind of like the Jorge Masvidal fight, but we'll see. I think his way to win is by a head kick. Do I think he can win by a flurry of punches? Yes. But the thing that I see the most happening is I think he'll pepper and throw a lot of kicks to the legs and body. He'll obviously show the head kick, but I think once those head kicks start to pile up, Kamaru Usman, he doesn't like to be kicked in the body. He doesn't like to be kicked in the legs. Almost like he takes offense to it and he tries to take you down right after. But Kamaru Usman has been known that he will be knocked out by a head kick, and he's susceptible to being knocked out by head kicks. And I think that's the best way for DDP to approach this fight. Obviously, fight your fight, switch up your style, blitz in, not too much though, because you might get taken down. But I think his way to win is either by a flurry of punches or the left kick KO. Now, let's switch over to Usman. Let's go over some of his advantages. Some of his pros is obviously the wrestling advantage. His takedowns can become relentless to where if DDP does get up, he might just go right back to taking him down again and beating him up on the ground again, depending on how the fight looks. I don't know how Kamaru Usman is feeling about this fight. He's coming off a win off of Joaquin Buckley. I think a notable fight to watch for him are the Leon Edwards fight 2 and 3. And Leon Edwards fight number 2, he took Leon Edwards down every round. And you know how he lost? Head kick. Just keep that in mind. Just kind of keep it stored in mind, right? He won every round in that fight. He took Leon Edwards down, beat him up for 5 rounds. Last minute of the fight, he gets caught by a left head kick. It's just the name of the game, right? But obviously he has a wrestling advantage. Usman's wrestling could possibly open up his striking. He likes to fake the takedowns, and that causes guys to drop their hands a lot. So I do think his wrestling will be a factor. He does use his wrestling to open up his striking, actually, and he does it quite often. So I think that will be a factor in this fight. And also, guys, his ground and pound is brutal. He's not the guy just to hold you down and have you sit there, kind of like what Khamzat did with him. No, he's going to take him down and beat him for 5 straight minutes in the round if he can. You know, he's not going to sit there and let you just lay there. He's going to beat him up for 5 rounds. And the kind of wrestling that he does, I'm almost wondering, will that tire out DDP at all? Will DDP start to show fatigue in round 2 and 3 from being constantly wrestled and taken down? Not just held down, but taken down and then beat up on the ground. He's going to have to defend himself quite frequently. Okay. Now, DDP can threaten some submissions, but I don't think his submission game is good enough to threaten Kamaru Usman on the ground. I don't see it happening. And also one more pro. Kamaru Usman has shown he has the knockout power, even though he hasn't gotten a finish in 5 years. Don't rinse me. He hasn't gotten a finish in 5 years. He has shown to have that knockout power, though. But like I said, he hasn't gotten a knockout since 2021. Who knows? But he's 135. I like to assume he still has a little bit of power. Now, let's go into some of his cons. His cons, obviously, his age. He's 39, guys. He's older. I don't know how much of a factor this will play. You know what they say? You don't start to slow down till you slow down. He hasn't shown any signs of slowing down, but he is 39. He's pushing 40, guys. I don't know. That's the biggest thing. I think Usman can become one-dimensional on the feet. He usually throws just a jab, maybe a jab, and follow up with a right cross. He'll throw the left hook to the body quite a bit. He doesn't throw left hooks to the face a lot. He likes to work the body really well and then go for a takedown. I think he becomes very hittable later into the fights once guys start kind of feeling his pace, feeling out like how he is on the feet. He becomes very hittable, very, very hittable. And he's known to struggle with pressure fighters and could be open to the head kick. Like I said, DDP will put the pressure on him. I don't think DDP will play it safe. I think DDP believes he will be able to stand up in the fight. I think he's probably ready for the takedown. If he gets taken down, I believe with everything in my heart, DDP thinks he will be able to stand up and he will keep the pressure on Kamaru Usman. And Usman does not fight well off the back foot. We have not seen it. When he does get on the back foot, he usually tends to shoot for a shot. Okay? DDP could very well set up a head kick the same way Leon Edwards did. Let's go over some of the notable wins for Usman. All right? He beat Sean Strickland. He beat Colby Covington, and he beat Joaquin Buckley. So he's known to beat elite strikers. He's faced some of the best wrestlers, in the game. So it's very hard to stylistically see this. It's a very interesting fight. I'll put it that way, right? And my heart tells me that I want to go Kamaru Usman. But something just telling me that I do believe Dricus Du Plessis will be able to stand up. And I do think Dricus Du Plessis, his kicks will be a factor in this fight. I think the leg kicks will really start to weigh on Kamaru Usman as the fight goes on. I don't know if Kamaru Usman can hold this guy for 5 rounds. I just don't think so. I think he's too big. I think naturally, DDP is just the bigger guy, naturally. Like coming in the ring, he's going to look like the bigger guy. I think Usman will look small. DDP, like I said, he can get a little crazy sometimes. Let's see if that craziness kind of works in his favor or it works against him. But if you guys like this take or if you have any other takes, make sure you drop a comment down below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and peace.